What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Test, test, test. Let me know how we sounding. Let me know how we sounding. Having some slight technical difficulties, but I know how that goes, man. Y'all know how that goes. So we got a few setups we're going to be looking at. We're going to be breaking some stuff down during this live as well. Make sure to go ahead and like the live. Y'all hop up in here. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on, Demetrius? I see you up in here. We're sounding good. We're sounding good. Perfect. Monday session just started. So let's go ahead and go over the news really quick. So looking at today, we do have 8:30 USD news. Going to be going live with the members and students during that. Like I told y'all last night, so make sure you be on the lookout for that link. But like always, you are able to be live during the live stream. What the heck? Yeah, 1 second. I just restarted my computer for the live, and like when you be like restart your computer. What's going on, Fim? I see you in here. It's like a bunch of. I don't know how y'all's computer set up, but like I have like games and stuff on my computer. So like when I restart my computer, it's being extra delayed right now. But a lot of times, the stuff will pop up. So I'm just closing stuff, popping up real quick. All right, cool. Yeah, so we got 8:30 news today. Again, make sure to keep that time in mind. If you're not sure how to trade news or how to go about trading news, check out the How to Trade News playlist, y'all. But yeah, we got a couple setups we're looking at right now. We're mainly going to be paying attention to gold, NAS100, and of course GBPJPY. Now, again, if y'all's in yesterday's live stream, the London session live, as well as the TikTok live. By the way, y'all, shout out to those that was in the TikTok live, y'all. I have to see if they gave me live access back. If they did, I'm gonna go live again today. I almost said tomorrow, but it is tomorrow. I'm gonna go live again today. But again, it was just hilarious because literally like 10 minutes before someone or whatever flagged or suspended a live, I was literally just talking about how folks be doing that to me, right? And again, if y'all was in a live, I wasn't, pitching false dreams and hopes. I was simply just on the charts like right now, but I was going a lot more in depth than I do on these London session lives. I was breaking down some serious free game, y'all. But we're about to see. I think I got it back. I got to double check. I didn't go live again ever since they took it down, but I did appeal it and all that good stuff. And then hundreds of people that be live streaming showing their charts and more than me, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. I think I can go live though because it's not stopping me from setting up a live. So we'll see. We'll see. But I'll let y'all know like today if I do go live, I'll send the link out and all that good stuff. Oops. So speaking of the London session live yesterday, if y'all was in the London session live yesterday, y'all remember when we was talking about GN, right? We was talking about how we can look at possible sells if we can hold 24.35, 24.40 as resistance. But what did I also tell y'all in the live stream yesterday? Don't believe me, I don't know the timestamp, but if you want to see if I'm lying, you can try really hard and find where I said it. I can't remember the time I said it during the live yesterday. But what did I tell y'all about this candlestick? Right? What did I tell y'all price was going to do yesterday with GM? Right? What did I say? I said when we usually have price do a big move at the beginning of the day before London session or even New York session starts, I said you're going to see a couple possible things take place. I said, A, we're either going to see a abnormally large candlestick like this one pop up, or B, we're going to see consolidation and retracement, and then price potentially try to repeat the move it did. So when we look at price right here, this was 3 a.m. when price first broke that level. What did price do after it did a dump all Tokyo session? Consolidated all London session. And then what happened New York session? Retraced. You see that? And again, I don't got a crystal ball over here. I don't got Trump on speed dial. It's simply because I understand the role of price. And, I'm on the charts every fucking day. So, bound to notice some things that happen all the time. You get what I'm saying? But again, this is why it's called the playbook. Why it's important to follow your rules, patient, and picky what y'all set up. All right. Got a new video dropping for y'all later on today, y'all. Make sure you catch up on the other videos if you have not already. You already know if you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat. When looking at your charts, drop them in the chat. Make sure you like the live, y'all. Those just joining the stream, we're not in this trade yet. This is just a trade idea. Make sure to hit that first link in the description. Join a free signal and free Telegram. You see on your screen how we did last month, last quarter. I'm so busy. I've been doing a lot of stuff. I've been getting the book together, the website together. I had to do a few tests. But I forgot to post a recap of yesterday. We did take a trade setup. We took a GBPJPY like we was talking about the lives yesterday. We was talking about the GBPJPY. Again, we was talking about, we fall on the flow of price. Now we're worried about that retracement. And again, this is why you want to follow the ultimate flow of price. Because imagine if, again, we saw price shoot to the downside. Everybody at the moment was going to think sell. So what did people do when price came back to retest this level? They probably went for sales. Then what happened? Stop loss got wicked out. Price shot back down. They probably went for sales again. Stop loss got wicked out. Then you see price shot down, but it never broke this level. And now we see price shooting back up literally right where we left off yesterday, right? So, and it also is doing the same thing we went for. We hit like TP3 yesterday on GJ. And then literally like an hour or like, I think it was like an hour before on this session. It hit like before I re-entered though. Of course, it did hit stop loss. I got wicked out here. I re-entered here. It's pushing nicely. So again, the same game plan, right? If DJ can respect 194.10 as support, we're going to be looking for buys going to 194.65, but it's going to have to hold this level as support, which we see it has been struggling to do so far. Okay. And then we're about to see how gold reacts to this level right here also. So let me cut you to this chat. Let me see how we sounding too. Make sure I don't sound underwater. Let me see how we sounding. We sounding crispy today. Okay, cool. What's going on, Fitmon? I see you up in here. Because I want some beer. Yeah. We're gonna see how it runs, and it's just how it is on TikTok. I was talking to someone yesterday about it. It's just how it is on TikTok. Unless you're showing something flashy, shaking your hips, or pushing drama, they're not gonna push your shit, right? But when you're actually showing some real shit, they ban you, or other traders come to the space. Not all traders, a few traders that be posted on TikTok and shit like that. But a lot of the traders be coming in. Like there was a trader that came in the live. Y'all probably know who I'm talking about, and he was talking about funded accounts and stuff, and he disappeared. Why did he disappear? Because I muted him. I probably should have blocked him, but I think him or somebody else probably reported my shit because he was trying to promote his shit in my comments. And there was another person trying to say some other shit. But I'm just gonna start being more strict and watch who comes in my lives. And if I don't like the vibe or what they got going on, I'm just gonna kick them out the thing, to be honest. All right, new 15 just popped up. But yeah, it's not the first time. Like I said, like this is my fourth or fifth TikTok account. I had, and I feel like I can show you better than I can tell that, right? Because I don't want folks to think I'm lying or something. So let me just move this to the left so I'll make sure I don't do nothing on accident. All right. So, okay, cool. All right, so this is what we're going to do, y'all. All right, I just want to make sure I wasn't going to do nothing on accident. So all y'all got to do is go to the search, free signal, free Telegram, first link in the description. You go to search, and we're going to type in TikTok, right? Then you can see this was the recent one. Well, no. 2020. No. That was recent, but it was a whole year ago, right? So I think it was this one, right? So again, you see how I was going live a lot during 2023 and 2024, but then we came to a halt. So we go here. Where is it? Did I just click the wrong thing? Hold on. Where is it? I might click the wrong one. Let me go again. Maybe it's this one. 2023. Yeah. So you can see right here, 2023 was going live consistently, and then this when I was saying like this was actually like the third or fourth time I got flagged. So I was telling y'all to follow me and stuff like that, and then literally like the next day or the next week, I don't think it was the next 13th. So yeah, 2 days later, then my thing got flagged, right? And then I made a whole new account. They were shadow banning my phone, so I bought a new phone, and then it was still kind of acting up, but the traction got a lot better. And I also been like, you know, being super careful what I post, so that's why I was like, I'm gonna start going live again. But we're gonna keep it going. Like I said, I'm just gonna be a little bit more careful when I go live because I kind of don't want to lose this account because I do have a lot of stuff going on. I follow a lot of people in there. A lot of people follow me on there, so we're gonna figure it out though. I ain't tripping about it. And also, I can just do what I do on YouTube as well, which I'm probably going to start doing. We'll see. I might do it in this live. We'll see in a second. But I want to make sure I'm not missing any setups first. Because as y'all know, as soon as I go into teacher mode, that's when price want to run off or something. Let's see what we got up in here. Yeah. So you know what I'm talking about, right? He was like, "Oh yeah, funded. Do you do funded accounts?" So I was like, first of all, you got trading in your name. There's a red flag in my stuff, right? So that go in his profile, and then he was promoting that show. I can pass funded. I was like, yeah, get the fuck out of here. So I should have blocked him, but I was being nice. I muted him. I should have blocked his ass because he was probably mad because he couldn't type. He was probably cussing me out on his phone. You ain't gonna let me type and promote myself. So I'm gonna report your ass. It's all part of the game. Again, y'all, this is another example of why we don't break out trade. We always want to wait for retest confirmations because, again, you hear me say this all the time, but I'm not going to stop saying it. Imagine we were just impatient, took this buy without waiting for confirmation. Would have took an unnecessary loss for no reason. Same thing here. Would have took an unnecessary loss for no reason. Unnecessary loss for no reason. So again, these rules are rules for a reason. You just got to stick to the playbook, and the results show for themselves. You just got to stick to the playbook. Let's pull GU up, see what GU's talking about. I don't think I like what it's looking like though. GU kind of did the same thing, broke this level. Now we're right back to where we left off. So yeah, just a whole lot of range. We want to see what the news today does. We do have momentum on GU though, but I still wouldn't recommend going for sales unless we can break below and hold 28.95 as resistance. All right, y'all. And then with GN, game plan still the same. I'm not really going to go for sales here. I much rather wait to see if and come back down to here, see how it reacts here, see if we can hold 24.40, 24.35 as resistance. Let me change the color back because we don't need this color right now. But yeah, the markets are slow. I might just do what I was doing in the TikTok live. Did I just break some shit down? Because why not? Instead of us just staring at the candlestick, staring at the candlesticks do nothing. Yeah. No, literally, I do that, or I have my desk with half my bank account on the table or prop money. Then I want to report it. Right? It's just crazy. I was just talking to somebody about that. I'm like, all these, and again, it's not really shade. It's just facts, right? Like, now, both. The majority of the people I'm talking about, they don't do both, right? Their whole page is this them taking trades, whether it's on a live or demo account, and then they just have a link in bio, and people just eat that shit up. But you know, when you actually teach them some shit, they're like, show a withdrawal. Look what you're talking about. I need to see a withdrawal, or everything you're saying, even though it makes sense, it's not valid. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy how the mind works with certain people. But like I said, I already know, like, because I run other social media and YouTube and accounts in different niches, and I do a lot better on those because one of the niche is a lot wider than, day trading is a little bit more tight niche, but also because To go viral here, I know what I would have to do, but I just don't want to do that. So I could already be at 20, 50K subs if every other video is me posting my payouts or withdrawals or my winning trades, how much I made, and all that shit. But like I said, I don't want to do that because one, well, you don't put your business out like that, or people are going to be looking for it. And you know what I'm saying? I like my peace. But, you know what I'm saying? We got a new 5 minute just popped up. So the markets are chilling right now. So yeah, we can break down some examples. Screw it. Again, if y'all did not read the post yesterday, which there's no way you couldn't have because it's right above the link I just sent out here. So unless you have your notice on YouTube, shout out to those that have your notice on YouTube. Y'all saw that the official playbook is dropping on Friday. So I'm about to answer some questions here because I got some questions. I just want to clarify. Again, I'm very specific with my words. What it says in there is what it's going over. It's not going to go over step by step my trading strategy. What that playbook is going over is how to read the charts the way I read them, right? It goes over the rules of the uptrend, rules of the downtrend, how I'm able to tell y'all, oh wait, don't pull the trigger yet. Let's wait for a retest, or no, we see this, but we're still bullish. We see this, but we're still bearish, stuff like that. So if you've been at the TikTok lives, you know what I'm talking about. If you follow me on Instagram and TikTok, you know what I'm talking about because I'm posting examples and stuff like that. So if you're not following me on Instagram and TikTok, make sure to click that. Well, no, you don't. I'm on the wrong thing. Don't click that. There's nothing to click. But make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. You'll see that scrolling at the bottom of your screens. Instagram, playmaker_way. TikTok, _playmaker_way_. All right, post every day on both pages. Got some new posts lined up for y'all today as well. Also got a new video dropping for y'all on YouTube today also. So make sure to be on the lookout for that. All right, but yeah, we're going to break down some examples here while we wait for the markets to wake up and do their thing. Again, we do have news at 8:30. So when we have high impact news, especially when it's USD high impact news, and especially when, well, it doesn't really matter the time. That's kind of a different conversation. Man, I sound crispy clean on the live today. I told y'all my mic's not trash. I've been telling y'all my mic's not trash. I sound crispy clean right now. It's like I'm making a YouTube video right now, but that's besides the point. That just threw me off. What was I talking about? I just lost my train of thought. I'm live, so let me just replay what I just said. Okay, I remember now. I remember, but I played back what the fuck I was talking about. So again, we got news today at 8:30. So again, when we have USD high impact news, this kind of is the same thing with a lot of other news events as well, but we're just going to talk about the USD news. All right. So when we have USD news, there can be setups before New York session, obviously, right? But the markets are super choppy and slow, especially going into like 6 a.m. pre-New York. There's a chance that it's going to be like that until the news pops off, right? So I'm saying that because, again, like I talked about in the book, it's important to not just understand, what you're looking at, but understand why price is doing what it's doing. Also understand all the possible moves and outcomes that can take place, right? Because when you understand all that, that's how you can know when to get in, when to get out, and when to wait. You get what I'm saying? So let's put the sell position back because we can see sells here. Like I said, we're bearish, lagging a little bit. So we're going to do some examples, break some stuff down, all that good stuff. And again, I got this buy idea here because price holds as low as support, I'm looking for buys. If price holds as low as resistance, I'm looking for sells. Very simple. I'm not going for setups here because as we can see, yes, we can catch some baby moves, but price has struggled to break this level and break this level. So I know if price can hold this low as resistance, hold this low as support, we have a higher likelihood of seeing a big move take place or the trend continue. You know what I'm saying? which is what we need with a lot of these charts. So we're kind of struggling right now. All right. You guys got any questions? Drop in the chat. Moving any charts, drop in the chat. I think I'm gonna use this chart because GN is absolutely trash. So I'm not gonna worry about you. All right, so we're about to break some stuff down, y'all. Going to naked chart. Better break some stuff down. So let me find a pretty simple one. So it looks like we was doing stuff down here. So we're not gonna do that. Looks like it was, I think this was from Monday. So we're gonna pick up where we left off. I'm not gonna do this because we already did this on Monday. Or was it Tuesday? I don't know. I'm terrible with the days. All right, cool. Cool. So we're gonna do some examples right here, right? So I'm gonna pull out the good book. If you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat. But markets are kind of chilling right now. I got alerts and everything, so we're just gonna break some free going down while we patiently wait. All right, cool. So make sure I cut you to the chat really quick. All right, cool. So looking at price right here. What do y'all see? Uptrend or downtrend? Let me know in the chat, y'all. Looking at price right now, what do y'all see? An uptrend or downtrend? All right, looking at that price right now, y'all, what do y'all see? An uptrend or downtrend? Y'all participate, y'all, because if y'all just watch and listen, I promise you, speaking from experience, it's going to go in one ear and out the other. But when you actually get that brain juice moving, them gears turning, a lot more of this information will be retained. You get what I'm saying? So looking at price right now, what do y'all see? Uptrend or downtrend? Downtrend. All right, cool. So let's break it down. All right, so there are 3 cycles, right? I made a video on YouTube talking about this, and I also talk about this in the book. I should have posted more screenshots so I could pull up more stuff, but you know, I was doing this last minute, so it is what it is, right? So there's 3 cycles, right? So in order to really understand how price works, you got to understand how price moves, right? So there's 3 cycles price is always, my thing lagging, it's always going to be in, right? It's either going to be the uptrend, downtrend, or it's going to be in what is named a bunch of different things, but it's potato, tomato, right? Right? So a lot of people call this sideways market, ranging, consolidation, liquidity, levels of traffic. It's all the same stuff, just a different name and term. So before you run the chart, you got to figure out which one of these 3 cycles we're in, because depending on which one of these 3 cycles we're in, it's going to tell us what we should do or should not do with that chart or in that market, right? Yeah. So now understanding that when we look at price here, I was saying downtrend. So we are technically bearish, but we have some bullish momentum coming into play, right? We have coming into play, right? Because for us to be in a downtrend, we need to see what? We need to see lower lows, right? For us to be in a downtrend, we need to see lower lows. So when we go closer to look at the price, do we see lower lows? All right, looking at this right here, we got to consider these lower lows getting made right now. All right, let me know in the chat. Looking at this right here, would y'all consider this lower lows or bearish momentum? NAS and gold and NAS. Like I said, they like this, especially within the next few hours. It's probably going to be showing right up to New York session. Again, this is the last week of the month, the last week and the first week of the month are the toughest weeks to trade because this is when all the reports are coming out. new months and new quarters are coming and opening as well. There's a lot of reasons for it, but again, I'm gonna say this every single time. Daylight saving shift. Oh, that's other countries. I was like, we already did that. Okay, I was about to question life for a second. Could have sworn the time changed. Right? So let me come to the chat, see what y'all saying. Yes. So, okay. So again, the downtrend consists of lower lows, right? Consists of lower lows, and it's also pushing to the downside. So we look right here, we can see lower lows, right? But then we saw a reversal, then we saw a new lower low. So looking right here, these aren't lower lows. This is probably struggling to push to the downside, and this is signs of a reversal and possible trend change coming into play, right? But what you have to understand is yeah, next time I'm gonna have a lot of screenshots on deck next time, but this is gonna have to do for now. All right, so ignore this last sentence. This is the only part that's important right now, right? So rejections and reversals happen, but a reversal doesn't always mean the trend is going to change, right? So, but the reversal is the first sign that a trend can change. Does that make sense? And we can literally use this example right here, right? I posted a video. This is gonna be this video, me breaking this down, dropping on well, dropped on TikTok. It's gonna drop later on today for y'all Instagram folks, right? So pulling that picture back up. Give me 1 second. Pull that picture there. This will disappear. Let me pull it back up. Right? In order for the uptrend to continue, we need to break past the previous high, which gives us a new higher high. We also have to respect the support level the higher low is resting on, right? And then the other screenshot is again, rejection and reversals happen, but a reversal doesn't always mean the trend is going to change. Okay, so we're going to go back to NAS100, but because this is relevant to what we were just discussing, and I can show the example a lot quicker. We're going to break this down, and we're going to go back to NAS100, right? So looking at GJ right here, we see that in the uptrend. Okay, we see that we're in the uptrend. Now, again, a lot of times online, you'll see people point out a pattern or a single candlestick. And if y'all been following me for at least a couple weeks, y'all know I'm against all that, right? It's all about flow of price, right? And the reason for that is you have to understand that the charts are like a 1,000-piece puzzle, each candlestick being one piece to the puzzle, right? Do you think you can see the full picture with just one piece? No, which is exactly why identifying a single candlestick doesn't help you understand everything. All right, think about it. These patterns or candlesticks people point out, do they actually explain what price is doing or why it's doing it? No, they just say when you see this, do this or do that. Okay, I'm about to show you right now, and we see this happen all the time on the lives. You be in the live streams, right? So again, we're clearly in an uptrend right here. There's no doubt or debate that we see clear higher highs and bullish momentum, right? So let's hit the play button. Okay, so after seeing this, did this cancel the trend? Are we in a downtrend now? Let me know. Let me know if we're in a downtrend now because of this. Right? Put yes if we're in a downtrend, put no if we're in an uptrend. Right? But yes, we're in a downtrend, but no if we're in an uptrend. While we're doing that, we see gold still taking a nap. As want to try to do something. Let's see what you use up. Use still napping as well. Right? So let's see what y'all saying in the chat. No. Okay, perfect. So the reason why we're not in a downtrend yet is let's go back to one of those screenshots. Let me find it. Here it is. Right? Rejections and reversals happen, but a reversal doesn't always mean the trend is going to change, right? So for a reversal to uptrend, right, this is one of the rules of the uptrend. As long as price doesn't turn the support level into a resistance and or make a lower low, we're still in the uptrend and we're still looking for buys, right? So again, this level right here, we can see price was treating as a resistance, then it broke above it. So for the uptrend to continue, we need to respect this level as support. Now, if we reject this level and start treating as resistance again, that's when the downtrend would come into play, right? But let's go back to, again, how the charts for a 1,000-piece puzzle, right? So again, a lot of times you'll see people talk about, oh, this is an M. So M means go for sales, right? But this is how people get caught in liquidity sweeps and fake outs. Because again, we see here price is about to retest this level. This is also why I was talking about wait for retested confirmations, right? So again, we had a higher high here, we had some consolidation, and then we had price reverse to the downside. So a lot of people would think, oh, I'm going for sales. As soon as price breaks this level, I'm going for sales, right? But again, if y'all was in the Sunday chart analysis or in the Learn Such Live Monday, this is why I was telling y'all to look for buys and to continue to look for buys, even when price was doing what it was doing right here, right? Let's just play and see what price does. Right? Look at this. It pushed down twice. So even if y'all didn't pull the trigger here, a lot of people would have pulled the trigger here for sales, and then what would have happened? They would have got their stop loss hit, and they'd be scratching their heads confused, right? So again, this is why it's important to follow the flow here. People was probably looking for sales here because price kept on rejecting the downtrend. We're still in the uptrend, which is why when volume picked up, we broke this level, right? So again, this is why it's important to understand the flow of price and follow the flow of price instead of trying to chase price. All right. For the one in the chat, that makes sense. Put a 2 if I lost y'all. So let's go ahead and just play that and see what you just up to. It's kind of struggling at this level right here. So what I want to see from this news is, again, I don't really care if price goes up or down, but I need price to make his fucking mind up, right? So again, we talked about this level earlier this week. This is the next major resistance level. Again, you see price time and time again struggling to break this level, but it has been chilling and holding 194.05, 194.10 as support, which is a good sign, but it's still got some work to do, and it's going to need some volume for the uptrend to continue. Okay, so understand that and keep that in mind. But again, put a 1 in the chat that makes sense. Put a 2 if I lost y'all, right? Put a 1 in the chat that makes sense. Put a 2 if I lost y'all. Make sure to like the live, y'all, if you haven't already, and subscribe. Again, we got a new video dropping later on today for y'all during the New York session. Probably going to drop after the news, after we and the members go live during the news. I'm going to catch you to the chat in a second. Exactly. Bounce off support. Exactly. Right. So again, that's why it's important to understand the rules of price, because when you understand the rules of price, right, you understand what is required for the downtrend, what is required for the uptrend, what is required for the downtrend, what is required for the downtrend to continue, what is required for the downtrend to no longer be in play, what is required for the uptrend to continue, what is required for the uptrend not to be in play, what are you supposed to do in each trend, the signs of confirmation of the trend continuing, changing. All this stuff is important, because when you understand how to read the charts, and on top of you understand how to read the charts, you understand all the possible moves to look out for, or all the possible moves and outcomes that can take place based on what price is doing at that exact moment. Again, this is going to help you make the best and wisest decision when it comes to trading, and it's also going to stop all that confusion that comes and takes place. Because again, when you just think about trading psychology, what are the two main things when you just combine them all together? That's the issue when people talk about trading psychology. It's the lack of understanding what the hell's going on in the charts, and then it's discipline, right? But again, a lot of it is from confusion with what's going on the charts, right? So again, when you understand how to read the charts, now your confidence is going to increase and boost, right? That's why, I be chilling all the time, right? That's why, when price is going up or down, if it's not the setup I'm looking for, I don't really care about it, because again, I understand what I'm looking for, understand how price works, and I much rather, again, it's all about high probability, high quality setups. And again, I've blown a lot of money trying to learn, and I learned my lesson. It took me I can't even say a couple $1,000. It was a lot more than that, but it took me a lot of money to finally realize, like, hey, maybe I should take this seriously, right? But again, me learning how to read the charts was the epiphany and the game changer for me. But as a whole, I've told that story a bunch of times. I'm not to. But let's see what's going on here. New 5 minutes just popped up. So again, we're still watching a couple of charts, but none of our alerts went off, and we see prices still just kind of ranging. So we're just going to break some more stuff down while we wait. All right. So going back to this again, we are in a down. We have signs of reversal and bullish momentum coming into play. Now there are a few things that need to happen for the bullish momentum to come into play. So before we start, I just need to make this disclaimer so people don't get confused and start doing shit, right? I'm about to start marking my screen up, but let me change the colors just so I don't throw people off. But this is me just simply marking off higher highs, higher lows. This is how I mark off my key price levels, okay? So again, I'm just using this to mark off higher highs and higher lows so y'all can visually see what I'm talking about, but this is not how I mark off my key price levels, okay? All right, cool. So we see here that we had, this is the resistance level right here. We have the lower low get made here, and then we see price is trying to go to the upside, right? So in order for the higher high to come into play, what does the higher high consist of? I mean, not the higher high, well, yeah, but what does the uptrend consist of? I just gave you the answer. I just gave you the answer on accident. But anyways, in order for the uptrend to come into play, what do we need to see? We need to see higher highs. So when we look here, we don't see higher highs yet. In order for a higher high to come into play, it would have to break this level and hold it as support or blow through it and break the next level above us, right? So far, we see prices struggled to break those levels. But again, at this point, I would not be going for sales. The reason why I wouldn't be going for sales is because, again, we see price is potentially trying to reverse and change the trend. So if I'm going to go for sales, I want to see bearish momentum. Right now, there's not bearish momentum. So unless bearish momentum comes back into play and I'm trying to take these lows out, I'm going to watch price to see how it reacts here and see if the trend changes or if price pushes back down to the downside. All right. So again, it's all about understanding the conditions of the charts you're looking at that moment, and then making the decision of, okay, based on what I know, based on what I see, what is the best move here, right? And again, I'm teaching y'all to follow the flow of price, not to chase price. And that's what be hurting a lot of y'all is y'all be focused on what price is doing at the exact moment. Now, it might look like that's what I do, but no, my decisions, like right now, me looking for a buy, I'm not looking for a buy based off this green candlestick. The reason I'm looking for a buy is based off the flow of price, right? Same reason why I look for sales. That's why sometimes it be confusing. Like sometimes people be like, why are you looking for buys? Why are you looking for sales, right? Because they're focused on the current candlestick. And that's how you'll get caught in these fake outs and quote unquote liquidity sweeps. Because again, what do we talk about? Let's bring this photo back up, right? Let me bring this back up, right? So what did we just talk about? It's a 1,000-piece puzzle. Each candlestick being one piece to the puzzle. So you can't imagine you have a 1,000-piece puzzle. You can't just pick up one piece to the puzzle and think you put the whole puzzle together, right? So that's why it's important to, again, look at everything. One thing I tell the members and students all the time is you look to the left, it's going to explain what's happening in the present. It will potentially happen in the future, y'all. Make sure I like the live, y'all. Make sure I like the live, y'all. Shout out to those that already like the live. Make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed already, because nobody else is going to be telling you this shit right here, y'all. All right, so let's go back to here. So all that is said and done, right? So this is when we watch to see what price does, because again, these are 3 cycles, but you only want to look for setups in an uptrend or downtrend, right? Uptrend only look for buys, downtrend only look for sales. So at this point, we have the bearish momentum, we have exhaustion to the downside, and we see the bearish momentum is coming to a halt, and we see the bullish momentum coming into play. So again, at this point, we're waiting to see if the bearish momentum is going to come back into play or if the uptrend is going to come into play, right? So that's exactly why I didn't go for sales on NAS, right? I know some of y'all went for sales on NAS. Congrats to y'all that made some bread. The reason why I didn't go for sales on NAS is because, again, I'm looking at the bigger picture, right? So if price breaks this level, holds this as resistance, I'll look for sales on NAS. But again, we're not in a downtrend yet, right? We just had a retracement, the gap filled, but we're not in a downtrend yet, right? Because again, this was the resistance level. The gap helped break it, and right now it's being held as support. So only way we'll be back in the downtrend is if we break these levels, hold them as resistance again, and take the lows out to the left, which is kind of hilarious because that's what kind of what we're talking about right now. This is what's going on currently with NAS. This is what we're kind of right now, right? So let's hit the play button, and so looks like we might have some retracements going on. And okay, let's see if gold can break that level. New 15 just popped up. All right, so let's hit the play button and see what price does. I'm gonna cut you to the chat in a second, y'all. But if y'all don't be in the TikTok live, that's kind of how I do. It's a little bit different from the London session lives because I'm doing a lot more talking. So I'll break some shit down, pause, make sure y'all following, catch up to the chat, answer questions, and go back and break some more shit down, right? So now that we understand all that shit we just talked about, let's hit the play button and see what price does, right? So again, we're going to need to either blow through some more levels to the left of us, or we're going to need to hold this level as support right here. Okay, so retracement. So at this point, price is going to do a couple things. Again, it's important not to just understand the trend we're in, but also understand all the make and do next. And this is what I do every day, but mainly in the Sunday chart analysis. That's how I'm able to do a Sunday chart analysis, and throughout the whole week, price is doing what we're talking about, right? It's because, again, I understand price moves, I understand the rules of price, so I'm able to see long-term or even on a short-term basis what price is going to potentially do next. You get what I'm saying? So again, if price holds this level as support, we got buys and we have the uptrend coming into play, right? But price can also easily break back below this level, hold it as resistance. Trading was trolling me. And if it does that, and especially when it takes the lows out to the left again, the downtrend's back into play, right? So again, it's important to understand all the possible outcomes and possible next moves price can make, because when you understand all the possible next moves price can make, again, there's no shock or some confusion. There's no head scratching, like, why price do that? What's going on? Right? Everything makes sense. Okay? Everything makes sense, right? So now that we understand all the possible moves price can make now, and we understand what needs to happen for the uptrend to come into play and for the downtrend to continue, let's hit the play button and see what price does. Okay? Boom. Right? So that is why I was saying I'm not going to look for sells, because again, like we talked about, we had the bullish momentum coming into play. So that's when we wanted to wait to see if price was going to have the uptrend come into play. Right? So again, if we would have went for a sell here instead of waiting, we would have took an unnecessary loss. Right? It's all about understanding how price works and having some patience. So again, that goes back to what I was just talking about with trading psychology. Understanding how to read the charts and having some discipline. Right? For the one in the chat that makes sense, put a 2 if I lost y'all. Right? And if y'all just joined the live stream, I recommend rewinding because we're breaking some shit down right now. Breaking some serious shit down right now. But yeah, put the one in the chat that makes sense, put a 2 if I lost y'all. I'm gonna cut you to the comments in a second. Up now. Y'all thought I'd just be marking levels on my screen and be chilling. Like, no, this is, I'm telling y'all, this is a playbook, bro. I'm telling y'all, bro, how the shit work. But let me cut you to the chat really quick. And again, y'all, if y'all DM me, I'll give y'all a special discount off the first series of the playbook. All right. Because I've been called Playmaker Way for a minute. The course is called the playbook. But it's time to actually have some playbooks. You get what I'm saying? I've been working on this for a minute. I got a few more that aren't out yet, but I've been working on this stuff. When I've been telling y'all, like when I was talking about revamping the course, I was saying for the past few months, since like December, January, that I'm working on a lot of stuff behind the scenes. I was serious, bro. You're about to see, like, I've been grinding and working on a lot of stuff for you. But let's see what we got going on in the comments. Let's see what we got going on. You got a question. All right, I got you. Give me 1 second. Let's make sure not missing anything else. That's yeah. So Demetrius, you want me to look at NAS again? Let me know. Well, we're on NAS right now, so let's just talk about it. So we're in reversal territory right now, right? Because again, we was looking for sells down here, right? I was looking for sells down here, but then price reversed and that's when we went for buys up here. So if price holds these levels as resistance again, we're going to be looking for sales. So if price can hold 1825 as resistance, we're going to be looking for sales going back down to 19670. But it's going to need to hold 19670 as resistance for the downtrend to come into play, because again, when we look at the bigger picture, we just literally had what we just saw take place on the bar replay, which is hilarious because I didn't even plan that, right? So what did we just saw happen on the bar replay? We had bearish momentum, right? So again, you're seeing this happen in real time too. So again, this is really how the charts work, right? We had bearish momentum, and then we had a reversal lead to the uptrend, right? So this was a little bit more extreme than what's going on right now, right? But that's what we had. We had bearish momentum, and then we had price break this level, and now we're about to see if it's going to hold that support, right? So if this level gets held at support, price can try to make its way back up here and make a new higher high, right? So that's why I'm looking to see if it can hold this up as resistance, because we can see sales come into play. But for the downtrend, it'll still need to break these lows to the left for the downtrend to come into play. But that's what's going on with NAS100. All right, y'all. Let's see what else we got up in here. I'm glad. You have a question? All right, let's get to it. How do you know when price will bounce off the next support to test and resist? You don't know until it happens, right? So that goes back to, again, the patience and waiting for the confirmations. The confirmations help confirm whether or not you should pull the trigger or not, right? Because again, I don't got a crystal ball. We don't control the markets, but we can understand the rules of price, right? So when we understand the rules of price, it helps us narrow down the next possible moves price can make. It helps narrow down what's the best moves for us to make with the market conditions, right? But you don't know price is going to do something until it starts to do it, right? Which is why you got to be on the charts early. And when I say early, I'm saying like, you want to get on the charts before like the session starts, but you also want to be on the charts before like, I just messed up on accident, but you also want to be on the charts before the move starts to happen, right? So you can figure out what the game plan is before the volume picks up and the move happens. But you don't know it's going to do it until it does it, right? Just like the NAS100. I was saying I was looking for buys because we had bullish momentum. But I'm glad I followed these rules, because if I didn't follow these rules, I'd entered as soon as price touched this level, I would have took an unnecessary loss for no reason, right? So again, you don't know price is going to do what it's going to do until it does it. Just like if we go back to Tuesday's live stream on NAS, right? Same thing. I didn't know price was going to do this, but I know based on in the past and the rules that I've written down as to based on what I've seen and what I used to do in the past, that if prices holds up that support, I'm not going to pull a trigger based on what price did, right? So we can actually break this down right now. Right? And y'all's in the TikTok lines, we did this before. So again, looking at NAS100 right here, what do we see? Looking at NAS100 right here, what do we see? Uptrend or downtrend, right? Looking at NAS100, what it's doing right now, what do we see? Uptrend or downtrend? All right. So I'm going to give y'all some time to answer that while I catch you to the comments. But looking at NAS100 right here, what do we see? Uptrend or downtrend? Just support. Let's see what else we got. Oh, gold just broke this level. All right, so now we're going to pay attention to gold. Again, we need to see hold this level. So we're going to see if this candlestick can close here. We're going to see what the next 15 looks like. But if gold can hold 30, 34 support, we can look for buys going to 30, 50. Now, again, keep in mind that we do have USD news at 8:30 today. When we're going live with the members and students during that. So members and students, make sure to be on the lookout for the link when I send it out. So do keep that in mind, all right? Do keep that in mind. Because again, another thing about trading is understanding being prepared for everything, right? So that includes understanding when the high impact news is going to kick in. Because I know it's part of the journey, but that's another reason why I'm so passionate about teaching. Because I remember I was in this group and they didn't even mention news to me. I was in a trade chilling. I blinked and a fat candlestick went the opposite direction, and I was confused as hell. So I went to talk to the person. They're like, "Oh yeah, that's news." I'm like, what you mean? Oh yeah, you should have been told me about that, right? That's why I always tell y'all at the beginning. That's why every Sunday chart analysis, First thing I do is go over the news for the week. So again, y'all know there's no shock or surprise. Y'all can prepare and do what y'all need to do or whatever the fuck, right? So let me cut you to these comments again. The question is, what are we in looking at NAS100 right here? Are we in an uptrend or a downtrend? All right, that's the question at hand right now. So let me cut you to these comments. I need to see it. You don't need to. This book is this book. You don't need that. You don't need that to show reversal. The book goes over everything. It goes over the rules to the uptrend, rules to the downtrend, the rules of reversals, confirmations for the uptrend to continue, the confirmations for the uptrend, the downtrend to continue. It goes over. It got pop quizzes. It's got a bunch of examples in there. It also, again, just like we're doing right now, I show y'all how to know what's going to happen next and what to go for. There's a lot of stuff. Like I said, follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Look at my most recent few posts. I show y'all a little bit of what's in the book there, as well as you've been in this live, showing y'all what's in the book, as well as breaking stuff down live as well. Right? But you don't need none of that. You just got to understand the rules of price. So all you got to do is understand the rules of price and respect the rules of price. Oh, German DAX. I got you. We can look at that. So let's pull it up. So GJ is pushing nicely. All right. So we got 3 minutes. So let's do this real quick. So we're talking about GBPJPY. I haven't traded GBPJPY in forever. Whoops. Let's see if my levels are still here. So that's one level. So that kind of shows you I haven't traded. No, that was from last time. So last GBPJPY. I think I used black for it. Wow. I haven't traded this. I feel like there was a chart that had a bunch. Anyways, let's just help you out. I'll explore that on my own time. So GBPJPY, we have bearish momentum, right? So we're kind of the same situation with the example with NAS. That's hilarious because what's going on right now is we're about to break down with NAS100. Okay, so looking at price right here, what do y'all see? An uptrend or downtrend, right? And while y'all answering that, I'm about to pull up the image so I can show y'all and we can break this thing down. Okay, we're in an uptrend. So in order for the uptrend to continue, we need to break past the previous high, which will give us a new higher high. We also have to respect the support level the higher low is resting on, right? So we see here that there's a clear resistance level going on right here, right? So for the uptrend to continue, it needs to break this higher high right here. It needs to break this higher high right here. Jeez, I almost made that look good. There we go. We need to break this higher high right here for the uptrend to continue to come into play. Now, we see that this is a support level right here. We see how price is bouncing, resting here. So if price breaks this level and treats it as resistance, the downtrend is going to come into play. So we're in a reversal territory. So I wouldn't really look for buys right now, unless price breaks back above like 22 like 990 or 22,300 price. I'm not 20, like 2,300 price range. I wouldn't look for buys. Because it's in reversal territory. Because if it breaks past like 22, like 500, 22,480, we're going to see the downtrend possibly come to play, especially if it holds that low as resistance, right? So this is probably going to get reacted to by the news as well. So yeah, so right now this is when you would have to patiently wait for a better setup, right? Because again, the goal isn't to catch every pip in the market. The goal is to go for high probability, high quality setups. So right now we see possible reversal into a downtrend coming into play because we see price struggling to make new higher highs. And we see some consolidation taking place, right? So let's go back to the 3 cycles. Before we do that, it's a new candlestick about to pop up. So let's see what's going on. So again, we need to see price hold this level as support. Let's see if price can hold that level as support. GJ is doing this thing. All right. Let's see if we can hold this level as support. 1 second. Man, I should have did all this breaking down and teaching yesterday's live because yesterday was slow as hell. But now the market's trying to do shit, which ain't terrible, but all right, cool. So cool. All right. So again, looking at price, We're in an uptrend, but we're currently consolidating right now. Right, so we see price, we see this right. That's currently what's going on with your 30, right? So we want to wait for that consolidation to break out and the volume to pick up. And when the volume picks up, it's either going to cause a big push to the downside, which could have the downtrend come into play, or it's going to break this resistance level and make a new higher high come into play. All right. So again, this is one I would recommend. Like if I was to trade, I would not trade your 30 at that in those market conditions, right? I'd either look at another chart or, like I said, wait for those extra confirmations. Let's see what else we got up in here. Okay, see, like that price action video said, you wait to see the price respects that line of resistance. Exactly. You always gotta respect it. I'm anti breakout trading. Always break and retest. That's another thing. I'm telling you, there's some. Gracious. I'm not gonna get into it. This is why I be doing this stuff, because it's just too much bad information out here. Well, price going to fill that gap on NAS? It can, especially from where it's at now. It could potentially fill that gap up. Let me pull up another NAS chart because I want to stop what we got going on, especially because I'm about to quiz y'all. Then you're going to know the answer. So let me pull up NAS100 on here. But yeah, so if you watch like my stock videos, I talk about gaps a lot in the stock videos, because if you ever looked at stocks or options, it's gap city. Like it's freaking gappy gap all over on the stock side, right? All right, cool. All right, so to come to fill this gap out, especially because it's this low. That's why I also said if we go for sales here, understand it's going to need to hold this next level as resistance, because price can easily fill this gap up and then shoot back to the upside. Because like we talked about, when we look at the grand scheme of things, we are still technically bullish. Even though we had a nice drop to the downside, we are still technically bullish, right? And why are we still technically bullish? Well, let's go back to this book and let's see what this book says. In order for the uptrend to continue, we need to what? Break past the previous high, which gives us a new higher high. And we also have to respect the support level the higher low is resting on. So right now, this will be that support level. So if price respects this level of support, it can. So again, price can break this level and then push back up and respect it. We see this right here. Price broke this level, still respect this level as resistance, right? Price broke this level, still respected as support, right? So we see this here. Price broke this level, still respected as support. So just because price breaks this level doesn't mean it's going to necessarily hold. So that's why I stress that price still needs to do these things in order for long-term sales to come into play. Because right now, this is just a retracement on the higher high that got made, right? Because again, we retrace our steps. This was a higher high that got made. So this, if we're in an uptrend, right? If we're in a what the fuck? Oh, that's from my. I was like, what the hell? Well, let's go back to this, right? Wrong chart. So if we're in an uptrend, what's the uptrend consist of? Higher highs and higher lows. So again, this is why again I stress to stop focusing. Not you, I'm just saying in general. This is why I stress so much to not focus on a single candlestick or a pattern, because that's how you'll get thrown off. Again, the charts are a 1,000-piece puzzle, each candlestick being one piece to the puzzle, right? You can't see the full picture with just one piece, all right? So that's why it's important to understand what's going on with price, right? So when we come to the chat, and then we're going to break this down, right? Oh, hold up. See, I told you I go on teacher mode. So we see here that price retested. Remember, this candlestick was red and now it's green, right? And if we zoom in, we can see price touched this level and shot up, right? So again, what did we just talk about with the uptrend? Let's pull this book out again. What did we just talk about with the uptrend? Right, let's pull this book out. Here it is. In order for the uptrend to continue, we need to what? Break past the previous high, which gives us a new higher high, And we also have to respect the support level the higher low is resting on. So again, for this uptrend to continue, we need to see what? Price break this higher high and respect this support level. And what was this? This was a reversal. What did we also talk about with reversals? Let's pull this book out again. Rejections, reversals happen, but a reversal doesn't always mean the trend is going to change. As long as price doesn't turn the support level into a resistance and don't make a lower low, we're still in the uptrend, still only looking for buys. Right? So this is why I always say reversals and rejections don't always mean the trend is going to change. Right? Because again, price rejected this level, and then guess what? The bullish momentum came back into play because we're still bullish on this, but we're also still bullish on the grand scheme of things when we're going to the bigger time frames. See what I'm saying? So again, it's called the playbook for a reason, y'all. It's called the playbook. Hold on. It's called the playbook for a reason, y'all. It works on stocks, forex, options, and crypto. It's the price action technical analysis playbook, right? All right. It's one of the first playbooks dropping. This one again is going over everything we're talking about right now. But let me catch up to this chat. Let's see what we got. We got going on. So catch it to this chat. Check XRP. Yeah, I can check that in a second. I got you. Let me catch to these comments first. Was you in the live yesterday? Was you in the TikTok live yesterday? Because someone was asking about the TikTok. Yeah, in the TikTok live yesterday too. Okay, so again, y'all, looking at price, for those who just joined, make sure you hit that first link in the description, join the free screen for your Telegram. You see on your screen how we did last month and last quarter. We're 3-0 this week, by the way. We went 12-0 last month. We went 3-0 last week as well. We've only lost one trade this month so far. So we've been going crazy. So again, the markets have been slow and choppy, which means we've been taking a lot less trades. But again, this is why I say it's important to, again, be picky with your setups. All the flow of price only go for high probability, high quality setups, right? Obviously, it would be a nice and perfect world if we can take trades every single day. But again, if my confirmations aren't met, I'm going to pull the trigger. It's that simple, right? So again, what are we in, an uptrend or downtrend? Looking at NAS100 right here. What are we in, an uptrend or downtrend? What time frame do you trade on? I trade based off various time frames. All right, so we go to my I'm a day trader. You go to my trade breakdown playlist. I break all that down. I have over 80 trade breakdowns, various buy setups, various sell setups, and I break down from start to finish the whole process, right? So let me drop my most recent one. This one. I'll drop a couple in the chat. Make sure to like the live, y'all, and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. We're really breaking this shit down. We're breaking this shit down in real time too. So I can't be like, oh, this is all bar replay stuff, because we literally broke down setups in real time as well as reviewed setups we broke down and took trades on earlier this week. Right. So this is how price works, y'all. And again, we're doing this with 0 indicators, 0 trend lines, a simple just following market flow. Here's another one. Yeah, so just go to that playlist. You want to see how I trade and the trade breakdowns and all that good stuff. All right. So if you said we're in an uptrend, you are correct, right? So we're in an uptrend because we see clear higher highs in play. Right now, we have a little bit of consolidation. And again, consolidation does not mean the trend is going to change. Consolidation just means there's a lack of volume and waiting for volume to pick up, right? And when volume picks up, it's either going to continue the uptrend or it's going to start the downtrend. But again, what are the rules to the uptrend? Let's pull that book out again. Man, this book's, whose book is that? Who wrote this? This book right here is just got too much sauce right here. In order for the uptrend to continue, we need to break past the previous high, which gives us a new higher high. We also have to respect the support level the higher low is resting on. So again, we need to respect the support level, but we are still bullish because we don't see any lower lows, right? We don't see any lower lows. Since we don't see any lower lows, we're not going to be looking to go low, right? We see higher highs, so we're only looking for buys. You feel me? So let's hit the play button and see what price does. So boom, this was London session. This was London session on Tuesday. So you go to Tuesday's London session live, you'll literally see this in real time. You'll literally see all the stuff I'm saying right now. I said in real time, and right now I'm just replaying and breaking down why I said what I said. And it's based off these rules, right? It's based off the playbook. So what did we just say? It says we also have to respect the level the higher low is resting on, right? So we have to hold this level as support. So price broke this level. So when we was live, I said what? I said we're going to wait for one of two things. Either price to try to push and break the highs to the left, or the retest. And you think I'm lying, go on to the live from Tuesday and you'll see I'm not lying. I literally said that word for word, bar for bar. All right. So look what happens when you follow the playbook. You just saved yourself from taking an unnecessary loss because you wanted to be impatient. You got so excited that you might be able to finally take a trade, right? So let me show you how you ought to be able to save money again if you listen to me on Tuesday. Because again, on Tuesday, I said we were still looking for buys. Now let's go back to the book. Rejections and reversals happen, but a reversal doesn't always mean the trend is going to change. As long as price doesn't turn the support level into what? A resistance. I'm pointing at my computer like you can see my finger dragging. So I'm just use the mouse. And or make a lower low, we are still in an uptrend and still only looking for buys. So we saw this rejection, but we have not seen yet price hold and turn this level into resistance or make a new lower low and break these levels below us, right? So due to that, we are still in an uptrend. Again, I know that might be confusing because we see this big push to the downside, but again, got to understand, like we talked about before, we're not focused simply just on one candlestick. We're focused on the full picture, right? We're not just worried about one puzzle piece. We're worried about the full picture, all right? So let's hit the play button and see what price does. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Did it hold it as resistance? No. So again, all you had to do was be patient, follow the playbook, and you would have avoided taking an unnecessary loss from a buy and an unnecessary loss trying to go for a sell, right? Again, there's no cap on that. It goes in the live stream. You know, we took the setup, but for those that don't want to think we took the setup, I can just show you real quick that we did take the setup. So let me go to the Advanced Play Center room. Shout out to the members. We're in the Advanced Play Center. And what is this? March 25th. What day is this? March 25th. What time did we enter this? 6:49 a.m. What time did price do this? 6:30, 6:30, 6:45, right? Entry SLTPs. See the TPs are getting hit, right? So again, I'm not just oh crap. I'm not just saying that shit. I'm saying this because this is how price actually works. All right. Put a one in the chat that makes sense. Put a two if I lost you. At least there's nothing important. Most of the stuff is my spam stuff. So that's good. All right. So put a one in the chat that makes sense. Put a two if I lost y'all. You guys got any questions? Drop them in the chat. When looking at your charts, drop them in the chat. Again, all this I'm breaking down is the method to my madness, y'all. This is all stuff I talk about on a daily basis, but now I'm breaking down and showing y'all this stuff and breaking it down so y'all can kind of understand the method to the madness. Again, this is the freaking playbook, y'all. Price action technical analysis playbook is dropping Friday, public. Y'all DM me, I'll give y'all a special discount. All right. This discount you're only going to get if you DM me. All right. So if you DM me, you'll get this discount on it, but it's dropping on Friday. So we see gold again, looking for buys. We saw the retest. Now we see price pushing up. Now, again, what are the rows to the uptrend? It's going to need to do what? Break this high to the left in order for price to continue to push up. All right. So let me catch up to the comments. Let me catch up to the comments. Let's see what we got up in here. Appreciate all the likes, y'all. Hey, this is why I am Playmaker Way, and this is why it's called the playbook. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I appreciate that though. Appreciate that though. Let me see what else we got up in here. Yeah, it was today. Okay, so we can talk about XRP really quick. Now, I don't think it really changed too much from where it was at currently, but let's find out because I haven't looked at it since we went over it. So let's find out really quick. Let's find out what we got going on. Let's find out what we got going on. So if you guys want me to look at any charts, drop in the chat. You got any questions, drop in the chat. Make sure to hit that first link in the description. Join the free signal, free Telegram. Y'all see on your screens how we did last month and last quarter. Go ahead and hit that first link and check it out for yourselves. We'll break that down in a second. Also, trying to find your message here, dude. All right, so we can check out XRP, y'all. So, if y'all watched my most recent XRP post, which was like 2 weeks ago, so I'm probably going to make if the XRP video doesn't drop today, it's probably going to drop over the weekend. I kind of want to wait until the new month starts, to be honest. And I think the new month is this weekend, so I might just wait till the weekend because I'm trying to change up my thing where I talk about stocks and day trading during the week, and then my crypto videos are drop on the weekend. So I might just wait until next month to do an XRP video. So I don't mind breaking it down right now. But make sure to check out my crypto playlist because, again, let's go into the next place sitting room. I've been telling y'all about XRP since it broke 70 cents, right? I told y'all about stocks as well. Again, what does the playbook say? Let's go to. I'm glad I did that on my left screen. Telegram's trolling me. Okay. All right. Works on stocks, Forex, options, and crypto. If you go to photos, you can see here, we scroll down memory lane. When I was telling y'all about the stocks, if y'all would have watched those stock videos from January and December and February, y'all made a bag before stocks retraced, obviously, right? Y'all 65% in 1 month. That's 1 month. Planetier went up 65%. NVIDIA, speaking of gaps, if y'all watch my NVIDIA videos, I told y'all to buy on the gap. I told y'all about the Palantir gap to be ready to secure or buy more positions after that gap filled up. Told y'all about Meta, told y'all about a bunch of other stuff, as well as you go further back in the time, right? Go further back in the time. I also told y'all about besides all these other stocks, cryptos. I also told y'all about XRP when it first broke 70 cents, 74 cents. I was posting an Instagram story telling y'all to get in on this. So if y'all got in on this, y'all made a bag from when price was, again, you see was at 70 cents. So y'all got in when I told y'all to get in. Y'all made a bag and y'all should still be deep in profit, right? So that's why everybody freaking about crypto. I'm like, y'all either jumped in hella late or y'all just don't understand how price works, right? So that's why we do these lives, so you understand how price works. So looking at XRP is currently in what? We are currently in, let's go back to the chart. Again, this shit does not fail, bro. We are in consolidation right now. So when price is consolidating, we need what? We need to wait for volume to pick up. And when volume picks up, it's either going to break this resistance level or break the support level, right? So, but it's currently chilling at $2.25, $2.30. So it's been consolidating here since December. So when volume picks up and when all these reports and all this crypto stuff starts going again, because it is going to go again, right? We're either going to push back up and go to $3.30, but again, what's needed for the uptrend to continue, we need to break the resistance level, treat that support. So the only way we're going to see the all-time highs get hit or surpassed is if we can break past or hold $3.30 as support. Okay, but we also see here that this level never got retested to be held or respected as support. So again, when volume picks up, it's either going to push to the upside or reject. So don't be too shocked or surprised if price rejects and comes down to retest $1.60 as well. All right. But yeah, that's what's going on with XRP. Let's see what else we got going on. What else we got going on? GJ looks like he's about to try to make me some more money. So let's see if we can break these highs. Again, what do we see here? We see here GJ struggling to break this resistance level. Again, what is needed for the uptrend to, again, y'all just see every chart I go to these rules. If y'all don't see the method of madness, I don't know what to tell y'all besides to get y'all's eyes checked. Right. So let's go back into the book. Right, because what does the book say about the uptrend? In order for the uptrend to continue, we need to break. And this book goes over the downtrend reversals as well. But obviously, I can't give all the sauce out on one live, so that's why we're just focusing on this part of the book, right? But it goes over a bunch of other stuff. And y'all's in the, again, you follow me on Instagram and TikTok, you see my post, you'll see that I scroll and show y'all other shit on my post as well. So make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I see it scrolling at the bottom of your screen. So again, what does it say here? In order for the uptrend to continue, we need to break past the previous high, which will give us a new higher high. We also have to do what? Respect the support level the higher low is resting on. So what do we see here? We see prices respecting this. Come on, Arrow. I'm trying to cook right now. We see prices respecting the support level. So now we need to see if it can break this higher high to give us a new higher high. Right? So that's what we're looking at right now. Right. So again, any time frame, any chart, this is how the charts work. Right. We just went to XRP, we just went to gold, we're on NAS100, we just went to GJ. Doesn't matter what chart. You can tell me a chart right now, I'll pull it up, break it down right now. Right. So let me catch you to the chat, see what else we got going on. We're gonna be on for a little bit longer, yo. Oh no, we're taking over. Don't worry, we're slowly growing. We're taking over. Don't worry about that. I ain't worried about that. We're taking over this year. I'm not gonna lie to you. I lost on XRP by a high, didn't know anything. So let's talk about it. So I talk about this in this video as well. So I'm gonna drop this video in the chat. So make sure to watch this video also, so you can see me show more examples of, again, what I'm about to break down and talk about. So since we're talking about crypto, I'll send this one for all my stocks, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna drop one where I'm breaking down the same shit but on the stock side. Here we go. Okay. So, and it all goes back to the charts. It all goes back to the charts, which is just a beautiful thing about the playbook and the strategy, right? Because it all goes back down to the charts. So when you're scrolling on social media and it's about stocks or crypto, what are these people talking about when it comes to stocks and crypto? They're talking about news events, they're talking about reports, and they're just giving you statistics like, oh, this is the 10th day consecutively it's retraced, or it's down 20%, it's down 30%. All that essentially is not that important. It's important, but it's not the most important thing. The most important thing is the charts, because the charts are going to explain why we're down so much, or the charts will explain that things aren't even crashing yet. So if we do go into a downtrend and things actually do crash, these people are going to shit themselves because they think things are crashing right now. But this is why the charts are so important, because there's a difference. And I talk about it in these two videos right here, right? There's a difference between a retracement and a downtrend, because again, we go back to these charts. Each one, well, besides this one, the uptrend has retracements, the downtrend has retracements. The uptrend's retracements are what? Higher lows. The downtrend's retracements are what? Lower highs. So when we look at these cycles, is the uptrend looking like this? Right? Does the uptrend look like this? Right? Do people draw an uptrend like this, or do they draw an uptrend like this? Do people draw a downtrend like this? or do they draw a downtrend like this, right? So again, price cannot forever shoot up. Price cannot forever shoot down. Retracements have to happen. Points and periods of consolidation have to happen. Because again, what are we doing here? We're investing, we're trading. Important thing about investing and trading is understand what you're investing and trading. These aren't just random numbers on our screens, ladies and gentlemen. These aren't just random numbers. These numbers are prices and values. So since we understand these are prices and values, imagine if the value of something just continuously skyrocketed and shot up, no retracements, no pauses, no breaks in between. Now imagine the exact opposite. The price just, or the value just continues to shot down, no rejections, no retracements, no retest. What would happen to the economy and the markets? Nothing would be stable, right? So the reason why a lot of people are messed up in the crypto and the stock space is because, again, just think about your friends or family members. You tell them about day trading. You tell them about stocks. You tell them about investing. 8 times, 9 times out of 10, they don't want to hear that shit, right? But if somebody with a lab coat or somebody on a news channel says something, then they want to listen, right? So that's the same thing that happened with crypto and stocks. Nobody wanted to hear about it. People thought it was a scam. But as soon as Bitcoin shot up again, as soon as the stocks start shooting up again, oh, wow, maybe I should buy, right? But there's a reason why people say buy low, sell high. Instead of buying when things are on sale, people are making the mistake of buying when things are not on sale, right? So again, ladies in here, when y'all be in the stores and y'all should be on sale. I be jealous sometimes. I ain't gonna buy no y'all shit, but I be jealous sometimes. Y'all should be staying on 70, 80, 90% off sales and shit, depending where y'all shop at. When y'all see some shoes or a shirt or a purse 50, 60% off, you clutch your pearls and scream out the store like, oh my God, it's on sale. I gotta get out of here. No, you say, oh my God, it's on sale. I gotta buy this, right? Fellas, video games, food, pews, whatever y'all buy and like, when things are on sale, do you say, oh, hell no, I'm not buying, this is on sale? No, you say, this is on sale, I gotta buy this, this is a steal. But for some reason, when it comes to stocks and crypto, when things are on sale, people don't want to buy shit. But when things are pushing up, they want to buy shit. But they wonder why they keep on losing money when they're buying at the peaks. You get what I'm saying? So that's why it's important to, again, understand the charts. And again, as y'all are learning the charts, again, the playbook's dropping Friday. But again, make sure to keep up to date with my stock and weekly crypto analysis, because I gave you exact price points to pay attention to, the DCA and DCA out at. Again, everything is documented on YouTube. Would you watch any of my stock and crypto videos, especially from last month of January? A lot of stuff went exactly as projected, right? So again, this is why it's very important to understand how to read the charts. Even when I be going live with the members during the news events, or when I be giving my projections for what I see during London Session Lives, or expect for the news to do, or what to expect throughout the day in general. Again, I don't watch the news. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. It wasn't until last year that I found out Powell wasn't a woman. I thought Powell was a woman until somebody posted a video of them coming out of a car or something. I was like, oh, that's what they look like. I thought Powell was a chick until last year. I don't know these people. I don't watch this, so I don't give a fuck. But how am I able to still make money and know the direction price is going? Because again, the charts rule everything. The charts rule everything. All right. So, let me see what's going on. Cool. We're gonna do a few more. We're gonna do like one more example. Pushing. Got a couple things to do before we go live with the members and students. All right. So. Let's hit the play button. All right. So looking at price here, we're in an uptrend, right? So we see here, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? So again, what do we talk about? As long as we don't break past the higher low, we're still going to be looking for buys, right? But for the uptrend to come into play, we have to break what? The higher high. Again, this is not how I mark off my blue and gold levels. I'm simply marking off the higher lows and the higher highs so you can see what I'm talking about and understand the method to the madness, right? So we're in an uptrend. This is the higher low, higher high. In order for the uptrend to continue, we need to not break past and respect the higher low, and we have to break past the higher high, which will give us a new higher high, right? So with that being said, again, you don't just need to understand what trend we are in. The playbook and what I teach behind the scenes is what to know, I should say, what price is doing at all times, right? And to be prepared for all the possible moves and outcomes price can make based on what price is at currently, right? So again, we're in an uptrend. We only want to look for buys, right? So we're either going to look for buys if price can break this high, break this resistance level and make a new higher high, right? Or if price can make a new higher low, but again, it has to respect this low by support and break this low and make a new higher high, right? So we'll still be looking for buys either way. Only way we would not look for buys is if price rejects this level and causes a reversal to come into play. All right. So let's hit the play button and see what price does. All right. Let's see what price does. All right. Failed to break that level, so we didn't go for a buy there because price never broke that level. So now we're about to see what happens here. Right. So again, looking at price right now. I need y'all to answer in the chat. What are we in right now? Are we looking for sells or buys based on what price just did? Let me know in the chat. Are we looking for sells or buys based on what price just did? You think Bitcoin can retest that video? I don't really try to time it. I just know what I'm looking for, and then I prepare for that. So I can't. I'm never going to be like on this time or this. I don't go that deep with it. I just follow the flow of price, and I'm prepared for price to hit certain levels, and I know what to do when price hits certain levels. But I don't really try to time it or anything like. Well, day trading is a little bit different. But as far as like, I can see in like a week or 2 weeks price doing that. No, I don't really do that. I just know what my game plan is, and I just let price do it, right? Because again, consolidation happens, retest, ranging happens, but what's important is being prepared for what can happen next. But you don't know what's going to happen until it happens. You get what I'm saying? All right, waiting for buy. So yeah, so we're still bullish, right? We're still bullish, but for the uptrend to continue, we still need to make a new higher high, right? So we got to respect this level of support and make a new higher high for the uptrend to continue. So we still got a little bit of work to do for the uptrend to continue. So let's hit the play button and see what price does. Look at that. So those that said buys, congratulations. You just saved yourself from losing your trade and you would have made yourself some money or potentially, right? Because price made a higher high technically, but still needs to hold this low as support to keep pushing to the upside. Again, y'all, this is the playbook for a reason. Y'all can say, oh, this is a bar replay, but if y'all were watching this live, we were not on this chart for like a good 10 minutes. We was looking at other charts, answering questions. So my memory is not that great where I can memorize all this shit, you know what I'm saying? But again, this is how price works, y'all. This is how price works. It's called a playbook for a reason. It's called the playbook for a reason. Nobody else is going to be teaching you shit over here. And this isn't me trying to make myself look good. It's just facts, right? Everybody lost some sauce, and look at that, right? So again, this is why you go with the flow of price. All right. So again, y'all, if y'all DM me, I will give you a special code that's not going to be out in the public to get a big discount on the playbook. And you can't find it anywhere yet because I haven't dropped the website and the link is on. But all that's going to be dropped in public on Friday. Yeah. So there's that, y'all. Well, y'all DM me. I mean, it's ready, so I could do pre-orders, but y'all DM me. Y'all really want it right now? Let me know if y'all DM me. But as far as the public, it'll be public in the website. It'll be public. You can buy it whenever. Will be Friday. Right. It'll probably be midnight. So I'll probably put the shit out everywhere before we go live or something. But yeah, y'all, it's called the playbook for a reason, y'all. Again, the playbook goes over the rules to the uptrend, the rules to the downtrend, the rules for the trends to continue, the rules for the trends to change. I got examples of all the stuff. I got pop quizzes in there to make you think, right? I give y'all homework. It's a lot of sauce in there. And again, what do we see here? A new higher high being made, ladies and gentlemen. So if y'all saw this and went for sales, you would have fucked up because again, this is about important not to chase price, but go with the flow of price. All right. Now I'm about to see, I'm still about to try to retest this level, so we're about to see if I can hold right there. Let's get this back on NAS100. See what NAS100 doing. You know what's funny? You said DAX. You didn't even say NDX, but for some reason I still, maybe because nobody brings up during EUSDX anymore, so I just wasn't thinking that way. But back in the day, y'all, hold on. I used to trade that all the time. When I tell y'all, when I discovered how to read the charts, I was in the experimentation mode and I was trading everything. So if y'all don't believe this works on everything, let me show you this, right? So this is not, this sale is no longer active. So this is probably what that person in the other line was talking about the sale. This sale is no longer active. Only reason why I haven't changed this pinned message is so Telegram can load this easier for y'all. And so y'all can easily see that again, my track record is here, right? So we click right here. It's going to take you all the way to 2022. I've been giving free plays and showing y'all this sauce literally since 2022, y'all. It's all documented here, y'all. Right? But again, I used to trade everything. I used to trade literally everything, y'all. So we see US30, we see Euro GBP. Y'all have not, if y'all just found me this year or last year, y'all have never heard me utter Euro GBP before. But I used to trade that. Same thing with Euro AUD, used to trade that. Euro 30, used to trade that. AUD New Zealand. I used to trade all types of shit because when I discovered this, I was on the charts all day, every day. It was terrible. I was trading Tokyo session, London session, New York session. And I don't know if we got any OGs in the live stream, but the OGs know we was going crazy on the charts. We was on the charts all day, every day. But then, you know, I was like, okay, let me relax now, right? Well, yeah, let's trade everything. So this works on literally anything and everything. This is how the charts work, y'all. Also, you go to subscribers, you go down to photos, over 1,500 photos, over 3 years worth of receipts. You can see screenshots of signals, screenshots of positions, as well as student results and testimonials. And shout out to my boy Jordan because he just got funded another 50K caps. I didn't post that. I might post that on my Instagram story too. But yeah, we really do this stuff over here, y'all. We really do this stuff over here. It's called the playbook for a reason, y'all. It's called the playbook for a reason. Got people getting paid out. All right, so this is the same person, but he passed another 50K like 2 days ago. But yeah, we going crazy over here. We're going crazy. We got other people passing profit from accounts. People are making money. We do this all day, every day, y'all. But yeah, so again, we have news at 8:30. So if all doesn't pick up between now and like 6:30, don't be too shocked or surprised if price is just ranging and chilling up until New York session. Remember, just be on the lookout for the link because we're going to be going live during today's 8:30 news. Let me cut you to the comments really quick because you know when I get into teacher mode, I know I get real passionate. I get to talking. So let me see what we got up going on here. Hey, what's going on, my boy? What's going on, Abrams? Let me know. Let them know. Right there. Why is that top line supporting that resistance? That's a good question. So are you talking about this line? Let's just assume you're talking about this line, or you're talking about this line right here. So this is what you have to understand. Support and resistance levels. What makes a level of support level, what makes a level of resistance level is based on the direction price is going and the momentum, right? Because if we look at this level right here, it's currently being held as support, right? But this same level was being held as resistance right here, right? We look here, this level was being treated as resistance, but when the flow and the trend changed, the same exact level is being held as support, right? So it depends on the direction price is going, which determines the level being a support or resistance level, but a strong support level is also a strong resistance level. You got what I'm saying? But that's a good question. Let's see what else we got going on up in here. And there's support resistance levels everywhere. If I was to mark off every support resistance level, it looked like a grid sheet from math class, right? So what I figured out is which levels are more relevant than others, right? So that's why these levels are so precise and powerful, right? But there's support resistance levels everywhere. So it's not that I'm marking off strictly support resistance levels. I'm marking off specific support resistance levels. And I go over all of that in the course in the one-on-one sessions, like the whole process. But the first step to understanding how to mark these levels off and which ones are more relevant than others is understanding the flow of price, right? And that's what we've been breaking down this entire live stream. Yeah, those were tracing. And again, I'm not in gold. I'm letting you do his thing, right? Again, what's the rules to the uptrend? Let's pull that book out again. Slide this to the left. Let me take my time so Telegram don't troll me again. Okay. In order for the uptrend to continue, we need to break past the previous high, which would give us a new higher high, and we'll also have to respect the support level the higher low is resting on. So this was the higher high. This was the reversal. Again, reversals don't always mean the trend's going to change. See price broke back above. So now, this is why we wait for the retest. We're waiting to see if price can hold and respect this level of support. If it holds and respect the support, we can look for buys. But if it rejects this level and pushes back down, we're going to hold off on buys. All right? So that's what's going on. Just like here, rejected this level, rejected again, which is why, again, we don't just enter off those levels. We got to wait for the retest and confirmations and all that good stuff. My schedule is so fucking standing. I'm like, why am I hungry as hell out of nowhere? I haven't eaten in like 8-9 hours. So that's probably why. Sleep schedule be fucked. That's also why I chilled out with trading too, because I'm already a night owl, but like my sleep schedule was fucked. Now I can trade all sessions, but I'm good with one winning trade a day. But back then, I was literally trading every single session. Now we were still winning and shit like that, but I'm just chilling now, relaxing now. Let's see what we got up in here. That's why I do this, girl. That's why I do this. All right, y'all. Shout out to everybody in the live. Shout out to everybody that's been live since the beginning. If y'all joined late, I highly recommend rewinding and watching. I say rewind to the first 10 minutes. I'm not saying rewind to the very beginning, but rewind to where like 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. 25 minutes in. We've been dropping straight free game of knowledge for like an hour plus straight, y'all. I'll let y'all know if I go live today on TikTok. I gotta see if they will let me go live because they suspended my live access. That's why the live cut out yesterday. I did appeal it, of course, because I got flagged for frauds and scams, but all I was doing was showing y'all how to read the charts. Meanwhile, I scroll down my For You page and I see 20 people showing more than just charts on the screen, but that's neither here nor there. But I'll let you know if we're going live today during New York session. If we do go live during New York session, it's going to be around the same time, probably around like 10 or 11 o'clock-ish. All right, y'all. New video dropping for y'all later on today. Make sure to be on the lookout for that. If you're interested in how to identify these levels, my student research, my mentorship program, make sure to hit those links in the description. Watch any of my YouTube videos. The last 2.5 minutes, I go over all the details. Again, all the stuff we talk about on this live, I break down and go over plus more in the official. Let me bring it up. I thought I was joking when I said I'm gonna get these pictures for tomorrow's live. But no, I gotta get these pictures, especially on TikTok, right? The official playbook, the price action technical analysis playbook. Now, spoiler, this is one of the playbooks I got dropping. Again, this playbook is strictly talking about price action technical analysis, works on stock options, forex, and crypto. It goes over the rules of the uptrend, the rules of the downtrend, the rules of the reversals, what's needed for the uptrend to continue, what's needed for the downtrend to continue, how price actually moves, a lot more stuff. Also has pop quizzes in there. It's got examples breaking down everything so y'all actually understand what I'm talking about. A lot of stuff in there, y'all. A lot of stuff in there. Again, if you've been in my TikTok lives or you follow me on Instagram and TikTok, if you're not following me on Instagram and TikTok, make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. You see it scrolling at the bottom of your screens. And if you have been following me on Instagram and TikTok, y'all seen my recent posts the past couple of days. I've been showing y'all and breaking down things in the playbook as well. So you want to see more stuff that's in the playbook, make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok and watch some of my recent posts on there. I got some more stuff posting later on today for y'all. But yeah, y'all. We're gonna be chilling right now. We're gonna be on the chart still, but again, we got news at 8:30, so I don't see any action within the next hour or so. I'm in GJ, but besides GJ, right, I'm not gonna be taking any other setups until after the news personally, right? So again, what do we see here? New higher high made. So again, before we hop out, let me show you this is how it works on every chart. Doesn't matter what time frame, because I know we got people that don't like to trade on the bigger time frames. This works on the smaller time frames too. But one thing I will say is, if you do use this on the smaller time frame, it's still important. I'm just giving you a lot of game. I don't know if it's the coffee or whatever, but if y'all do use this stuff on the smaller time frames, you still want to confirm your bias based off the lower price on the bigger time frames, okay? Because you hear me say it all the time. The bigger time frames tell you the direction price is going. The smaller time frames only show you what price is doing at that exact moment, which is again why when you try to follow and chase price on the smaller time frames, you get caught in these liquidity sweeps and you get caught in these liquidity sweeps and fake outs. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, make sure to like the live and subscribe, y'all, because nobody else is gonna be breaking this shit down. Nobody be breaking this shit down, y'all. Again, if y'all followed these rules yesterday, y'all could have maybe caught a few sells here, but man, this is what price is doing. Now, again, in order for the uptrend to continue, though, it's still going to need to have to hold this low as support, which it failed to do so yesterday. Right? Yeah. But yeah, let me cut you to the chat really quick. Yeah. If you think that covers fire, wait, like I ain't gonna spoil it, but wait till you see my other books. I found some pretty nice covers to edit and customize, but you think that one's fire? I found some other shit that I've edited and put together that's even nicer than that one, right? But y'all will see that when I drop that book, right? Because again, this is just, I have another book that I dropped too. I haven't talked about it, promoted. I have another book too, but when I drop the link in the site, you'll see all the other stuff I got going on as well. But I do got other books I'm working and finishing up as well. And again, the course revamp is still happening as well, y'all. Again, it's not going to be happening as soon as the new month starts, but all this stuff will be dropping and taking place in order to y'all. So make sure to stay tuned for all that good stuff, y'all. And see, here's the retest on gold, like we was just talking about. So now I'm about to see if we can take these highs out to the left. It's like I switch on the chart and we see the rules are still following and applying, man. It's craziness out here. Again, this is why it's called the playbook. And just like if you're playing basketball, hockey, volleyball, soccer, whatever, football, they got a playbook. And you stick to that playbook, what happens? Shit happens. You make touchdowns and you have a good time, right? So you gotta stick to the playbook, y'all. All right, but yeah, we'll be back at the same time tomorrow. London session 3 EST. Peace. We out.